Welcome to the Bake Like a Pro YouTube channel. In today's really fun video, I'm going to show you how to make my super easy lemon cake brownies. So let's get on with the ingredients. For today's recipe, we're going to need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/3 of a cup of vegetable oil, 1/4 cup of lemon juice, 2 eggs, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and our last ingredient, 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. So those are the ingredients, so let's get started. Into a large bowl, I'm going to get my 2 eggs. I'm going to get my mixer going. Just break those eggs up. I'll add in my oil. This is a really super easy recipe. And then all of our sugar. Just mix that up a little bit. So I'm just going to increase my mixer. Okay, that's good. Then we'll add in our lemon juice. Just get that mixed in. And now we'll sift in our dry ingredients. And I do have my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Your oven should always be hot and set to the required temperature before you put your cake or brownies or cookies into your oven. So we have our flour. I'm going to sift it in. Our baking powder. And our little bit of salt. You don't have to sift the salt, but might as well. And just get all of that in there. And then I'll just push it through. Perfect. I'll grab my mixer one last time. Now we just want to mix all of this together. And I've only used a little bit of baking powder because brownies typically are very fudgy. If you add a lot more baking powder, you're going to turn this more into a cake. It's going to be much more fluffy and airy, and I want this a little bit on the dense side, so it's a brownie. So just a little bit of a mix, just on speed number 1. Just get everything incorporated. Just want to do this for a minute or so, not even. You can turn off your mixer if you want. And just go around. And you can also do this with a hand whisk if you don't have an electric mixer. So that's good. I can feel everything's completely mixed in. I'll just turn on my mixer. Just clean off my beaters. One of my beaters came loose. There we go. That's good. So I've got my little baking tray ready to go. I have my little metal clips holding on my parchment paper. This is an 8" by 8" square pan that I'm using today. So always use a spatula and just get that right in there. So my oven is going. It's preheated, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's at the correct temperature. Get all of that, and this smells amazing. I'm using a spatula because I want to make sure that I get everything out of my bowl. I wish you could smell this. There we go. So now I'm going to pop this into the oven for about 25 minutes. Here we go, right out of the oven, exactly 25 minutes in my 350 degree Fahrenheit oven. At this point, this is extremely hot, so I'm going to let it cool down, and then I'll come back and we'll do a really simple frosting on the top. So now we're going to make a very simple glaze. What I have here is 1 cup of icing sugar. That is equal to 135 grams. Icing sugar has 3 different names: icing sugar, confectioner's sugar, or powdered sugar. 3 different names, but it's all the same sugar. To our confectioner's sugar, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. This is equal to 30 milliliters. Just get that in there. I'll grab a little whisk, and I'm just going to whisk this in. And if it's a little bit too thick, then you can just add a little bit more lemon juice. But I want to start off like this. So that's a little bit too thick. I'm going to add in a little bit more. So I'm going to add in another teaspoon. That is equal to 5 milliliters. And you only want to add this in a little bit at a time because it really changes very, very quickly. You don't want to have this super liquidy. So just make sure you give it a nice little stir. You can see how quickly this has changed. And I usually just do this by eye, and you can do this by eye at home. No measurement really required. Just do it by feel. You see how that is? And I like it just like that. So now we're going to apply this to our little cake brownie. So this is cooled right down, so that's good, and I'm just going to get this right on. And there really is no measurement. If you want to have more glaze, you just make up a little bit more and pour it on. I don't want it too thick, so this is enough. You can see that it's starting to cover it nicely. That's good enough. I'll just grab a little spatula and just get it over the top. I think that looks good. So now I'm just going to let this set up for a little while, and then I'll come back and we'll cut into it. So this is just a little bit over an hour later, and you can see my nice lemon glaze has completely set up. And I just want to go around, I just want to get it away from the side here a little bit. It's still soft underneath, but the top has solidified. So I just want to break it away here. That's good. That glaze is yummy. And then we'll just lift it out. There we have it. So let's just get right into this. Get a nice slice. Oh, look at that. I'm going to pull this over. Just cut up a few little pieces. This is extremely sweet, so you don't want to eat it like a cake. Little pieces are nice. So let me turn it like this, and then I just want to zoom in. Now that I've zoomed in, hopefully you can see the texture a lot better. And I am calling this a brownie cake or a cake brownie because I did use a lot less baking powder, so it is more dense. I'll just turn this around. And if you want these even more condensed, then you can use even less baking powder than I did today, or totally omit it, and then it's not going to rise up nearly as much. But in this recipe, the crumb is actually quite tight. If you increase the baking powder, this is going to rise up and it's going to become like a real cake kind of dessert. But I'll just show you what this is like when you put your fork through it. Hopefully you can see that. Really, really nice. That's really, really good. And you get a real nice punch of lemon. Really yummy. If you love lemon desserts and you've never tried something like this, you've got to try it out. You will try this once and you're going to be using this recipe all the time. A really, really fun one. Super, super easy. I hope you enjoyed my video today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you wish. If you're on Facebook, you can also check me out. Facebook.com. Written recipes are over at allrecipes123.com. That's it for today, and I'll see you next time. Going in for another little bite. That is really good. Yum.